Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. I am James and you're watching Blue Dog Reptiles. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Thanks to you guys. We are over the 700 subscriber mark. And if you are new to this channel, we bring you new and exciting reptile videos each and every week. If that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing. Hit that like and notification bell. That way you guys stay up to date on everything going on with us. And now this video today comes to you from one of our subscribers. It was actually recommended and it's one that I've been trying to do for a while now. If you'd like this video, leave us a comment down below and we'll do a part 2 of it. But today we're talking about 5 safe plants that are safe for your reptiles or amphibians. Now, number 1 here is can you guess what it is? This is a Ficus benjaminia, and Ficus are awesome for tree dwellers. So chameleons, these work beautifully, but the big thing with these is they go by different names. It used to be called and pardon my slaughtering of this, but it's at Epiperomia adre, which is what it was called previously, and then it was changed to benjaminia. It's also known as a weeping fig, but more commonly known as the Ficus adre. Now you can see it has big broad leaves, which is awesome for things that like to climb. You can see how thick this stem is, but if you notice, it wobbles. So if you were going to put this in with your chameleon, it'd be perfect for surface drinkers because they're big leaves. It would also be really well for tree frogs, but I would recommend supporting this somehow, whether a rod going down it just to help structurally make it more sound. Now, the crazy thing with these, you will have to keep this unless you have a custom enclosure. These plants do get really big, and that's why this one is number 5 on our list. Indoors, they can grow 5 to 10 feet. Outdoors, they can grow 65 to 100 feet. So, is it the right plant? It's a beautiful plant, but it might not be the right one for you. They have a lifespan about 10 to 20 years on average, and they can be priced anywhere from $16 to $100 depending on their size, and obviously the bigger they get, the more expensive that price goes up. So we'll slide him to the side and bring on number 4. Now number 4, I'm sure a lot of you recognize this plant. This is the Peperonia carperida, also known as the pepperoni plant. And I can't imagine why. These are awesome little plants for terrariums, for lizards and geckos. You can see it has multiple stems in there, and it's constantly growing new leaves and new stems. The awesome thing about this is it stays small. It only grows about 8 inches tall and about 8 inches wide. It fills in, but you'll have multiple legs constantly growing off of it. Lifespan is about 6 years on these things, and they typically go anywhere between $10 and $40 depending on size. The bigger they are, the more expensive they are. But it's a really cool plant. So, number 3 is one of my favorites. Man, cannot talk today. I'm sure a lot of you recognize this. This is the Draculata Trifacida. It's also known as the snake plant. This is another one that had a previous name, Sansevieria. Let's see if I can. Trifacida. Yeah, I'm terrible with scientific names. Now, this is a big, rigid plant. These are stout. These are awesome for frogs because they're not going to bend over. They're also good for crested geckos because they can lay on them and they're not going to move around. You can see this one already has a pup growing, actually a couple of pups growing. A pup is another section growing off, and they are perfect. They'll hold water, so if you need a high humidity plant, then these are the perfect one for you. Now these can grow 6 feet tall. They're really thick and stout, but typically they work great for smaller terrariums and then eventually need to be moved up into a bigger terrarium. We do that all the time with a lot of the plants. Once they start growing up, then we'll move them to a bigger enclosure. Lifespan's about 5 to 10 years on these plants, and they can range anywhere from $15 to $300. And that's just crazy, but yeah. Next up, I'm sure everybody will recognize, is the Erodium, and also known as the Devil's Ivy, but more commonly known as the Pothos Plant. These plants are absolutely amazing for just about any enclosure, whether it's frogs, reptile, or geckos, amphibians, it doesn't matter. This plant thrives. And the easy thing is you can cut off a section of this, replant this stem, and it'll keep on growing. The crazy thing is so one of the records right now is they've seen these things grow 66 feet tall. They will constantly keep growing. They get really, really big. And I'll show you a key example of that. Oh man, if I can stand up. This is a larger one here, but you can see it just grows and grows and grows. But the awesome thing is that they can be trimmed back. They're easy to take care of plants. They have a lifespan of about 10 years. And so for the small pots like this, they're typically anywhere between $12 and $30, depending on where you go. And then they can reach up to $400 for the very big ones, which you see them just climbing up a branch, and yeah, they're absolutely awesome. Last but not least, can you guess what it is? If you saw the thumbnail, then you probably do. Is our bromeliads. Bromeliads come in all different colors and different styles. They all are safe. These work best for amphibians, crested geckos, gargoyle geckos. They work very, very well. They're really good at holding humidity, and they're just absolutely pretty. They typically grow about 3 feet tall. You'll see that this will grow up and up and up, and then they'll actually flower. And they're typically about 2 feet wide at full size. They have a lifespan about 2 to 5 years, and they can go anywhere from $20 to $200 depending on what type of bromeliad you get. Now, one of the biggest things that I want to talk about today is, you notice how I was slaughtering through the scientific names? When you go to nurseries, plants go by their scientific names, and that's what you want to go by in order to find safe plants. You don't want to go by common names, because the pothos here, key example, it's called the Devil's Ivy. Most people don't know that name. They know them by the pothos. So always, always, always go by the scientific names of the plants. So yeah, these are 5 different types of plants that are safe for your reptiles or amphibians. If you guys like this and want a part 2 of this, then leave me a comment down below. And thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.